All right. Welcome to the first ever Legends podcast, first ever Legends Fantasy Football Podcast, I should say. I'll be your host, Commissioner Scott. We got fellow in the studio today. We got Ryan, part of the 16-man league, and we also have Leo here. Just want to introduce ourselves and run into the podcast a little bit, talk about our league and why it differentiates. What's the word?
Differentiates.
Apart from everybody else. All right, so moving on. We want to get into kind of our draft, our league, talk about why we set up apart from everyone else. Why, coming up, this is Leo. We got, 16 years in the league. What do you think is different about our league? Before I get into draft night, why do you think it sets us up apart?
Well, I'll never forget the first time I was introduced to the league from the very beginning. For the draft night, it was catered, organized, just across the board, the level of detail for the draft board. And this is, like you said, 17 years ago, before everything was as, social media driven as it is now.
Yeah.
People were talking about it. And, I got hooked from there. I remember what was it? One year we had the Hooters girls for for the catering. I know we had plenty of times when we had just overall the music for introductions.
So I want to get into as far as it's pretty cool because we picked the past winner from previous years, and we allowed them to pick the theme for our draft. So something that I think everyone that is not weary to is when we go into the draft the following year, our drafts are themed. I've talked to numerous commissioners throughout the country and all these things on what makes our league different from everyone else. And every time they see something that we do, they're just really taken back as like, oh, there's a draft. So like previous draft themes, well, we've had like Star Wars, we had a casino night, we had a Mardi Gras, we had like a Heroes. This year coming up, we're going to be doing, it's like Squid Games, which is super cool. Cameos is another thing that we bring into it. So when someone wins, Ryan's won like 2 times now, and we give them a part of their gift. Yes, they have the trophy. By the way, Trophy Smack is a phenomenal company. We've used Trophy Smack for actually about 15 years now. We also use Fan Draft for the software and talking about, we basically put everyone in the room. And honestly, live drafts are where it's at. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it gives you like something to look forward to other than, just playing regular fantasy football for during the season or whatever. It's like a party. A bunch of friends get together, we have a good time, we have drinks, food, and we're hanging out. We get there early, we hang out, we talk about like strategy or whatever we're going to do. And then we get to drafting, and then, we buckle down, we sit down, it's, the room gets a little quiet, and then we start drafting, we start working. And I think because we have such like a theatrical draft night, I think the guys kind of put more effort into their teams for the year because it makes it a bigger deal. Like if you're the champ for the year before, it's like going to be a whole spectacle if the next year for your draft night. So I mean, it makes it cool.
The build up through the year. I mean, I used to joke with my old employers that, this is like my Christmas. I'm requesting off for work, and it's like, listen, I know I got my kid's birthday, but your draft night, I need to be off,
It really is. I even think about it like the night before and like all the planning, but it really, when you want to talk about running a successful fantasy league, people can set up a league with 10, 12 people just randomly at their work or wherever. But I think to have 16 people committed going into 17 years, that live draft aspect, it is essentially like Christmas Day. I mean, the wives are all in. We're all in between the theme. And there's something about, in my opinion, just having that live draft that really just makes, in my opinion, the league just take off.
Yeah, and also, how many leagues have you been in and it's just kind of auto draft? Like, you get 5 or 6 dudes that are like good and they know what they're doing, and then the rest of these guys are just like coasting and they're auto drafting and just waiting for you. You can't do that in a live league. Yeah. You can't. You're sitting there with pen and paper, like looking through stats, looking through, you might have a laptop or a computer or, iPad with you or whatever, checking stats. But you have to put in the effort on draft night because it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go, right? Like you can prep for it as much as you want to, but it's not going to go that way because one guy falls off. Some guy gets arrested, some guy gets, something happens.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs just got arrested for domestic or something like that.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
That changes. If you had a plan going into the draft, let's say the draft is next week, you had a plan going into it, that changes everything. That guy's going ADP at probably like 18 right now, 18, 22, something like that.
Yeah, but people don't know how to come back from that. Like, you don't know, oh, he just got arrested. Am I taking him now the third, fourth? And when you're running a 16-man league, that's a lot different than a 10.
You're running a 16-man league. You're not even... You have to, like, prep for things like that.
And ADPs in general, and I don't want to say go out the window, but they're a lot more flexible, a lot more fluid, because if you don't take your guy, you're waiting way longer. You're not getting the next time.
Yeah.
So if you want someone, you're reaching, your strategy changes completely with a 16-team league.
You brought up something to me we were talking about earlier as far as, hey, like, you've heard on other podcasts people talk about, like, people not come, like, how do you keep the people in the league and,
So one of the things I do notice in other, leagues, or at least what I've read and seen, is that there's difficulty holding people accountable for following the rules of the league. And the solution always is, well, you need to quit that league. You need to quit that league. And, finally having a commissioner and a structure and organization where there's penalties, there's fines, and then ultimately, what did you say?
No, I told them right off the bat. I'm like, honestly, if you have 15 people giving 100% and you have one person that just has it, you're running such an elite league, you whack them off. I'm sorry. Like, I'll give you every opportunity to register, to pay, to be involved. Our big thing is set your rosters, set your lineups. And yes, we do have monetary fines built into that format, whatever if it's, $10, $15, $20 to make people accountable. But honestly, in the last 3 years, we haven't had any of those fines because the core people that we haven't been an issue. But when I do run into that one, I don't like to be the commissioner is going to lay the hand down. But at the same time, I give someone 8 opportunities. Why am I going to wait around? It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, some of it does seem like little petty rules, right? But like setting your lineup, that can change the entire dynamic of a league, right? Like if I'm playing and it's week, 12 right now, and I'm shooting for a playoff spot or something, and the guy I'm playing doesn't set his lineup, I'm in, right? Or the guy that I'm trying to compete with, I'm competing with you coming down the stretch, and the guy you're playing doesn't set his lineup. I mean, that changes everything. Yeah. That changes the whole dynamic.
And don't forget too, we're not playing for $50. This is a big league, so you want to maintain the integrity of the league among all.
No matter if you do it for money or whatever you do it for, it should remain that level of integrity here, 100%.
Right.
And you see people, are they friends with this person? Coincidentally, they sat a kicker, they sat a defense, they sat a running back, and our basic rule is they have 24 hours, right? So if a running back is declared out 24 hours before they play the game, and you make that mistake and you don't put him in their lineup 24 hours until they play, that's not a problem. But when someone gets ruled out more than 24 hours, say they get ruled out on Wednesday, they're playing Sunday 1:00, they've been ruled out for 3 days, and you have eligible people on your bench, that's where we've kind of have always done punishments or fines and kind of zero tolerance of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with it as long as there's like strategy behind it. Like if you sit a guy and you don't fill your roster because there's strategy behind it, like, hey, I just don't, I've got everybody on buys and I don't want to give up anybody, drop somebody to pick somebody. You know what? I'll take the L this week. I'm up already. So I'm good with that. That's perfect.
Let me get back to draft day for real quick. So do you guys we've used this software now for a little bit. So I know when people do live drafts, sometimes they might just have Yahoo or ESPN open on their phones and everyone kind of sits around. But the way we do it, I sit in the front, I have a computer, but then there's a huge monitor, 80, 90, 100-inch monitor that has the full draft board, right? And that draftware is sponsored by FanDraft. They do a phenomenal job. Do you guys like that technology going into draft day?
I think it's perfect for just evolving with the times. I mean, I remember back in the day, we'd take our little sticker off the board and walk up and, and there's still a lot of leagues that are still doing it that way. But,
sure.
Now, just graduating to another level, everything being digital and just even something like the whammies and the little things that you have in between rounds and in between picks.
Explain what the whammies are.
So, yes, for those of you who don't know what whammies,
and this is specific with the fan draft software.
So
which we're not representatives for them anyways. We just made it fun having we just had fun doing it from the software, but the whammy. So go ahead.
Yeah, so there's random picks and random rounds where when that person comes up, there's a prize out of nowhere that keeps everybody really engaged, even when it's not your turn. And it's just another element, and they always say it's about the details. Another element that just keeps everyone engaged, keeps everything entertaining.
Yeah, so say there's like 10 whammies. I'll take one of the league members' faces and put them on a pair of socks, and they're the gift for the whammies, right? Or sometimes we'll do like an auto card or something like that. But we've done funny things. We've done funny T-shirts. I mean, we've done everything from making fun of past members to, I mean, and when people get these whammies, everyone's like, oh, whammy. It really is a game changer for draft night in the middle. But before we start drafting, I mean, what's the vibe like walking in the door? There's a theme. I mean, these people are in costumes no matter what the theme is. There's food that is the same genre as the theme. And then there's entertainment. I mean, I've consistently had everything from belly dancers. I mean, we've had, I think, everything under the sun. We've had performers dressed as Star Wars, as Layla walking out. I mean,
legit casino dealers.
We've had casino dealers. I mean, that is awesome. We're going to get to that in the next episode a little bit as far as our draft order and how we come to draft order, and that'll be in the next one. But yeah, but you come in and it's full casino night, and not just, yes, you're gambling. We don't gamble for real money, but that gambling, it goes to something in the league, and that changes the dynamics of a lot, in my opinion.
Yep. And the preparation even leading up to the draft. I mean, we'll have a meeting going over the rules, going over if there's a new league member, the theme that we talked about earlier. A lot of the anticipation and the steps leading up to the draft. Cornhole or different games that are.
And we're going to talk about that too, as far as like the draft order and how we come about that in the next segment. I don't know. I think that to show somebody, let me ask you this, Ryan. If someone wanted to create a fantasy league and not do it on the phone, they wanted to do it in person, what would be your best advice for them to how they would orchestrate their own draft in the area, or however they would do it? Would you recommend them going to like a house? What do you see?
I mean, if you're creating, like you're starting up from scratch, I think you kind of gotta start small, and you put together a great party, get a bunch of friends together, having a good time,
and that's also
fun
too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that makes it fun. It makes it fun. People want to do it. People want to like be engaged when it's fun, right? Yeah. I could sit in my living room and draft from my phone, and that's great. I can, have some reason to watch football for the year. But like when you're making it a party, you're making it like a good time.
Yeah.
It changes it. It builds your interest in it, right? And people want to stay because of that, right? Because it's not your monotonous like.
And it's not just a party. They're coming dressed. We had, what was it, 2023, 22 Mafia night?
Yeah.
Like drag as gangsters. I think 90% of the league, including the wives, came decked out.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's so much
like a
fun.
full-blown costume party.
So let me ask you this. And I think Leo's been in the league for the full 17 years, right? Ryan's going into his 12th season. Leo, like, would you agree? Yes, it's fantasy football, but the way we handle business, there's more to there. Because if we didn't do fantasy football over the years amongst different things that we do, that's something that's always brought friends over 17 years back.
For some of us, we see each other once a year.
Yeah.
And it is draft day. And we look forward to draft day every single year.
So it's more than fantasy. Like, it's a joke, but in all seriousness, you walk in, it's a fun party.
It's friends and family that you haven't seen and that you're together with, and it's like a kind of exclusive club.
Yeah. I mean, when you walk in on draft night, like, I mean, I don't know about everybody else. When you walk in on draft night, I mean, in the back of your mind, business is in the back of your mind, right? You're thinking like,
We're gonna demolish your opponent.
yeah, who your competitor is, and who, you know,
Yeah,
like,
keep the casino, everything on the side.
Yeah,
I'm looking at what's going on.
yeah, I'm thinking my strategy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
for
I think
sure.
we all kind of do the same thing. We all kind of like huddle up around back and say, hey, who's going first? Who's second? Trying to
beat
like,
people into stupid picks.
yeah, like talk somebody out of it. You're the guy that like, we all do it. You know, it's not that we all don't do it, but it's
sure.
you'll never get that in a drafting on your phone
Yeah.
type of league. That's not a thing because it's getting all these guys together to draft. That's the whole point of it. You know.
I mean, they're coming with their full materials. They're getting their seats. I mean, people get there. We say doors open 5-6 hours earlier. People get it there as soon as doors open. We have the food catered. We have everything. And then about an hour before the pick, we do we go over fun statistics, or we do some kind of a roast, or, we call our last place the disgrace. The disgrace comes in some kind of hideous costume or something just to get the laughs on the floor.
I wouldn't actually know how that works because I've never done that.
We can save that for a topic for another day. But so anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I know it's only like the second time we've done this, but I kind of want to, in the next segment, we're going to get into draft order and things like that. Kind of how we determine it, what makes a successful draft order. But thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Appreciate you.